Hello, everybody! And welcome to Slash Yell, the MMO show, the wonderful show on the internet where Indigo, Adrock, and I discuss MMO news so that you don't have to. Even though you
This is also the show that Croog forgets to hit record on Zencaster.
God damn it, motherfucker. Stain ass my face.
You're the one that does it every single episode.
I don't do it every single episode.
Do you want to try that one?
And now my phone's ringing. Jesus Christ, this is stupid.
And I hear you double. Would you like to try that again?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah?
Ready?
All right, well, stop making me hear you double. That'd be great.
I can't turn that off for some reason. This is a great beginning to a show. Jesus. Right? I'm gonna do this, and then I'm gonna turn this off. There we go. Alright. And then hit that. Alright, cool. Alright, I'm gonna mute my phone, because holy shit. Stop that. Stop that. Alright. Ready? I'm gonna go back to pre-show. I'm gonna wait for 5 minutes. No, I'm not gonna wait for 5 minutes.
Uh-huh.
Hey everybody, and welcome to Slash Yell!
Where Croog does everything right the first time, it doesn't have to go back and edit it through.
It's a lot of stuff. It's a lot of fucking stuff. This is a wonderful show on the internet where Indigo, Adrock, and I from QueueTimes.com sit around a table, 3 different tables, but still, and discuss MMO news together so that you don't have to, even though you probably still should. My name's Croog, and today I have Indigo with me.
Hey!
And Silly PNG because Adrock is not here today. Actually, he is here. He was playing Overwatch like 2 seconds ago, but now he's gone again. I don't know what he's doing, but he'll probably get into that when he gets back, or he won't.
Shearing monkeys.
Okay. See, if you're going to go with the same shearing thing, you should probably still say goats. You should
Nope.
come up with something completely new. Like,
All right, fine. He is milking gorillas.
ew. That's disgusting. Hey, Indigo.
Yes.
How was your week?
My week was good. We went to a fun cinematography event yesterday. Yeah. You, myself, and my fiance. And then other than that, I've been playing a ton of Overwatch. So,
Gulp.
but that's not an MMO.
Nope.
I don't know if you know that or
It's
not.
not.
So I'm not going to go into that at all. What about you? How was your week?
My week was pretty much the same. I went to a fun cinematography event where I saw a lot of things that I want to buy but can't afford. And then I played Overwatch, and I did some work in there somewhere. If anybody knows anything about REST APIs, I'd love some information. That having been said, why don't we jump into the... Well, we already kind of talked about what we played this week. It was literally just Overwatch. We can skip that part of the show, right? We don't need to talk about what we played this week.
100% move right the fuck on.
Right the fuck on. Into Slash Zone, which is where we discuss MMO news. What's APB? Oh, All Points Bulletin.
Yes.
We're going to talk about APB today, apparently, because Indigo wants to.
No, I saw it. It was MMO news. I'm bringing it up. APB is now free to play on Xbox One.
So you'd say APB is now F2P?
APB has been FTP.
F2P.
F2P.
Because you can just write the number 2, so you can say...
You can also say T for 2, T-O.
Oh, I see what you're saying. All right.
So,
that's not what people do, but you can do that. You can do your own unique little flower.
I'm not a huge fan of this game. I tried it out, and I would walk outside of a building, and random people would just be like, ah, and I'd die. Like, it felt like my experience on GTA Online, and so I just had zero interest playing it.
Yeah.
But there might be people out there that really like the game, so...
Yeah, if you want to play it on Xbox One for some reason because you don't like fun, console fun, I don't know why you wouldn't. I tried this game and it just kind of felt like worse GTA to me. Like, I know it has like
well, GTA took
more. How do I phrase this? More structured content to it than GTA does. Because once you're done with all the GTA missions, you're done with all the GTA missions. But I still have more fun just being in GTA than I do playing this game, or than I did to playing this game. To be fair, I didn't give it like a huge chance. It was just like 3 hours or something. Like, but you know. That's kind of where I'm at with this. Like, I'd rather be in GTA. But, that having been said, if you want to, you can. I'm not going to judge you. I don't hate you for it. I hate Indigo for other things, but not because he's played GTA, or not GTA, played APB longer than I have.
I played for about 5 minutes.
Oh, That's much shorter than I played it. Did you really just like spawn in, get killed, and then immediately stop playing?
Yeah. Oh, I mean, I spawned in and then got killed, and I was like, "What the fuck was that?" And then I came out and then tried to walk across the street, and then someone else killed me, and then I went, "This is the starting zone. What the fuck?" And then I was out.
Well, maybe this game doesn't want to hold your hand. You
Well,
big
I'm
fucking
fine.
baby.
Like, I'm fine with games that don't want to hold your hand, like Ark. Ark doesn't hold your hand. They're just like, "Hey, you're here. Have fun." But like, the difference is that in Ark, I can actually walk around and do stuff without people instantaneously killing me. Or when I do die, I can spawn somewhere completely different and have a completely different situation. Didn't have that in APB. It was literally walking outside of the police station because I chose to be a cop for some reason and would just instantly die. So it just wasn't fun to me. I tried it.
All right.
Not interested.
Maybe you'll be interested on Xbox. He won't be interested on Xbox. Black Desert Online. You got this piece of news, and I actually didn't see it before. You want to go over it?
Yeah. So Valencia and Siege mode have been delayed. So it was originally supposed to be coming out, I believe, this month, but they've had to push back due to technical issues to adapt the season 4 of Siege mode in their current build. So they couldn't. So it does kind of suck, but at least they're recognizing that this is an issue and they're not moving forward with it and causing larger problems or larger issues. And this is the other thing is, as a compensation, they're extending the Blackstone and the Pirate Rum events 1 week to compensate the players.
I love We Fucked Up events. Those are my favorite kinds of events.
Yeah, so the events were happening anyways, but they're just like, hey, we're going to extend these a week so that you guys have more opportunity. And basically, additional XP, free XP, basically, because we promised you something and we couldn't deliver on our promise.
Oh, it says that the duration of Blackstone and Pirate Rum event for 1 extra week, and then below the post there's another post that says update bonus XP event will also be extended.
Yeah,
so it's 3 things that they're doing, 3 events that they're extending the time for to make up for this one mistake, which is cool. I'm cool with it.
Yeah, I really like that. I like the idea of that. I have no issues. No issues.
Well, I mean, except for like give me content, please, but whatever.
Yeah, but again, this is the game that we keep talking about, how quickly the content is coming out.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's like, oh, all right, cool. You delayed the monthly update to like a month and a week. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. That's like in any other game that might be like, if a WoW delayed Legion, everyone would be like, no amount of compensation will make up for your sins. And then just
WoW did something kind of similar. So the game came out and had a massive amount of bugs and issues and problems and downtime on servers. Like a lot. So they turned around and said, hey guys, as a compensation, we're going to be giving you, I think it was additional like XP, double XP or stuff like that. So WoW did this, but they did it in the other sense of they saw an issue and still came out with the release date and then added it later versus
that's a good distinction. They're not giving you garbage, and they're giving you something instead of the great content that you're going to be getting instead of the garbage. So, there's a benefit there.
Absolutely. So we're going to move on to the Secret World next,
which is so meaty. So
there's a lot of content right here.
Yup. So there was a developer update recently. It was, when was this posted? I guess they don't put dates on their posts. Cool. Thanks, guys. So Andy Bennett wrote this.
We'll hit up Bennett. Andy and be like, Andy, what the fuck, bro?
When did this post come out? Why don't you put timestamps on your posts? So this is written by Andy Bennett. Andy Bennett's been on the show before, so hi, how are you? I hope you're listening.
This post came out on the 23rd.
Oh, am I just blind?
No, you have to go back to the news section to see when that piece was actually posted.
Whatever. On the 23rd. So there's a shit ton of stuff in this post. So they've initiated, by their own words, one of the most comprehensive reviews of abilities in the Secret World. So they're trying to like go through their abilities, make sure everything's balanced, make sure everything's fun to use, and so on and so forth. And just a note before I start getting into the details of this is all preview stuff. This isn't a full list of change notes by any stretch of the imagination for anything. This is partial. But I picked out interesting bits, and actually the full list of changes isn't posted yet. So that's a thing to keep in mind. So for abilities, they're adjusting a bunch of damage numbers to bring things more in line with their cooldown timers. They're introducing a new debuff that will be on some elite abilities called vulnerability. So essentially, vulnerability gives you some kind of weakness to a specific type of damage. An interesting part of this mechanic is going to be that one type of weapon will only be able to apply vulnerability for other types of weapons. So I won't be able to use vulnerability and apply it for the type of weapon that I'm currently using. Does that make sense? So it kind of promotes synergy between weapon types. I think that's a really good choice. I like that idea a lot, that you can't just like keep smashing away at somebody and slowly do more and more damage, just like bleh. So that's cool. They're also introducing CC reduction on PvP uniforms so that you can't just blast somebody away with these newly, increased damage abilities, which is great. Give you a little bit more of a chance to get out of that situation before you die. And they're also tuning down PvP damage and healing, so they're kind of like reducing. Although now that I read that out loud, why are they toning down PvP damage and healing at the same time? That seems weird. Wouldn't you just do one, like tone down healing?
Maybe they want to extend the length of the fights significantly.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Well, I mean, instead of toning just healing down, then you're going to have double DPS teams. But if you reduce damage...
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. I get it. So they're basically trying to increase time to kill overall while not, like, fucking with the meta. Because I do, now that you mention that, I do see how doing one or the other would probably tilt the meta one way or the other. That makes total sense. So, another piece of news for the Secret World. They're changing, and I don't know how to pronounce literally anything in the Secret World, the Fusang project up a little bit. So for those of you that don't know, this is their persistent PvP war zone, just kind of like constant PvP combat with objectives and stuff like that. So they're removing all missions from this instance other than the underdog mission, and everybody will instead get 2 new missions. One is to kill enemy players near a facility you own, so essentially defend. And the other is to kill enemy players near a facility they own and then capture it, so essentially attack. So they're replacing the current mission set with just really super basic attack, defend, kind of like to guide people onto to where to go. They're also adding some dynamic events, and I'm assuming this is to take the place of quests they removed. So there is Anima Surge, which is an event where a random facility is selected and is the target for 15 minutes. If your faction owns that facility, at the end of the timer, everyone in your faction who is in the Fusang instance at the time will get a reward. So it's basically capture the hill, I guess. King of the Hill, that's what I'm trying to say. Really fun King of the Hill mechanic. And there's also Supply Drop, which is an event where a supply drop belonging to a specific faction, so it's already owned, will appear somewhere in Fusang. If that faction is able to successfully retrieve the contents and deliver them to a friendly facility, that faction gets a reward. If an opposing faction is able to intercept the drop and destroy it before it can be captured, both other factions will be rewarded instead. So if the one faction who owns the drop gets it back to their base, they get a reward. If one other faction destroys it, both other factions get rewarded. So it's kind of like everybody fucking gang up on the guy who's getting the extra shit kind of situation.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like capture the flag, although with like a weird twist. Only one team has to capture it. The other 2 teams can just blow it up,
Well, not only that, it's while it is similar to capture the flag, it's capture the flag at a random location, which isn't usually, and it's not necessarily going to be placed in a enemy territory.
Sure, yeah, and I think that's probably what it'll end up being, because it would really suck if you had a situation where you are against 2 other factions, so chances are you're outnumbered severely, and you have to go into one of their territories to get the thing in the first place, and then go back into your territory to deliver it. Like, that would suck so much dick.
But you have to remember, let's say it is in one faction, faction A, and faction B has to go into faction A's location, and faction C is trying to get the points for blowing it up. It's 2v2v2. Does that make sense? Because faction C has to fight against faction A because faction A wants to blow it up. What?
It's just so hard to make these connections. When you're like, I'm imagining people listening to the podcast just going, hold on, I need a pen and paper. Hold on.
All right. So the 3 classes are, or the 3 factions are Illuminati,
Templars,
and
the one I never play.
crap! Why is this blanking?
It's because I never play it. I don't know.
Anyways,
I don't fucking care.
the green one. All right.
The mean one that I don't like. They're mean people.
Why are they mean?
Because they're mean.
They're about chaos.
Yeah, that's mean.
They're
Order's
like
nice.
The flap of a butterfly, creates a tsunami in the other side of the world. Like that's their whole thing. Anyways, so the Illuminati are trying to get their unit that is in the green one's location, right? The Templar want to go destroy that unit so that they get the points. But the green ones are also trying to destroy that at the same time because they want the points.
The dragon.
The dragon, thank you. So if the dragon and the Templar are fighting each other because they want to blow up that point,
no, but you're missing like one key element of this is that
what?
So let's say Templar have the supply drop and Illuminati destroy the supply drop, Illuminati and dragon both get rewards.
Oh, I misunderstood that part.
Yes. So, and I'll read it again just to make double sure, but that's what I read. So it says, blah, 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 blah. If an opposing faction is able to intercept the drop and destroy it before it can be captured, both other factions will be rewarded. So it's literally it's very heavily incentivizing them to team up because there's literally no downside. Because what are you going to do? Like, okay, so let's all go to this one location and demolish this one faction that's trying to do a thing, and then we'll all get rewards, and then we can just fight each other. Like, there's no downside. We're going to fight anyways, so we may as well team up for a second, blow these people up, and then fight each other.
Yeah.
I think that's fun. I think that's a good mechanic, because that's not something I've seen in these kind of like open, persistent PvP zones before. And to be fair, I haven't really played very many of them. Is a reason for two factions to team up against another. So I like that idea. I don't know if it's going to be balanced. We'll see if it's balanced. And again, I think the thing that would add most to the balance is putting it in a territory controlled by the faction that has the supply drop. So they just have to go like far away from where they have to return the supply drop, but still inside their territory. And then like meanwhile, both other factions are trying to penetrate them from multiple angle penetration. To be fair, I did not realize that was going to sound nasty when I said it, but then I immediately realized it and made it nastier.
The second you said penetration, I was just like, oh, this is not going to go in the right place.
That's a good word. I like that word. I'm going to use that
word. What if the supply drop gets dropped in the dead center?
I don't know. I think it would. I just still don't think that's fair. Because if you're like equidistant from every enemy, then position isn't really an issue at that point, right? And then you still have 2v1, so you're still fucked.
All right, I'm with you.
It should drop behind allied lines.
I can't say anything until I see it.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah,
fair, buddy. So that's supply drop. We talked about that for a while. There's also, we're not even fucking done with the secret world yet, guys. Museum of the Occult. So Museum of the Occult is, I think, the secret world's take on Wildstar housing, but worse. So Museum of the Occult is a current location that you can go and see in the secret world, but you can't access inside of it. During the update, the doors are going to be openable, and inside you'll see a museum that features displays based on your collected achievements. So it's going to like, based on who's in there, it's going to be your little instance of your achievements, and you can kind of decide what you're going to display and what you're not going to display and where you're going to display things. And then when you do all that, you can invite other people to check your instance out and kind of like, this is what I've done. I'm so cool. I killed this mob or something like that. I think it's really cool. It's also going to contain a store where you can buy stuff, and it listed some things from cosmetic items to an item that summons a companion that helps you in combat, which I kind of thought was weird to add to this specific location, but there you go. Yeah, that's all the shit coming in. Actually, no. That's some of the shit coming in the Secret World's next update. That's a lot of stuff.
It reminds me more of, if we were going to refer to Wildstar, less of housing and more of, like, you remember those specific zones that you would go to that would like you would go there and you'd place your reward there, and it would be like
oh yeah, I do remember
like
that.
The museum.
I never did that. Yeah, there was a museum in Wildstar that had a very similar mechanic, but I don't think you could share it.
No, you couldn't share it. Not only could you not share it, but it also You didn't get to choose where it went, but it was just kind of very.
Yeah, it was kind of blasé. It was just like, oh, I got this sword from a quest that told me to go get this sword specifically so that I could bring it to this museum. Basically, all it proved is that you went to a specific zone and paid attention to that quest.
Yeah.
Like, that's really all it was. But I don't remember a way of being able to share that with other people, which I think is like...
Unless you were in group together, maybe, and you went in there.
I don't think so. I never noticed any of the places being filled except for mine. You know, like, I did, like, the first 2... And then after that, I was just like, I don't think this is cool. I don't like this. Maybe if you could, like, put it in your house, like you could have the ship flying next to your housing plot in Wildstar, but that's not a thing. So I think this is a good, like, middle ground between what Wildstar had for achievements and what Wildstar had for housing. Because housing was super great. The achievement show-off method was garbage. And this is
achievements
kind of
in general were pretty garbage.
Yeah, achievements in general.
It was like, hey, you got this achievement. I'm going to show you not the symbol or logo or anything that you've gotten, just a generic block of text that pops up and says, congratulations, you've gotten X.
Yeah, and then,
you know what I mean? Then you'd level, and then it'd be like, that's right, motherfucking cupcakes. Wow. It's like,
that's right, motherfucker cupcakes. Wow.
It's like, what the fuck just happened?
If Wildstar increases their level cap, they should bring you in to record more of those.
That's right, motherfucker cupcakes.
That would be horrible. Yeah, I think this is going to be a great bit of content for the Secret One players. Do you want to talk about the Division?
Yeah, sure. I thought you were going to create a transition there, so I was opening up for you.
I was hoping you were going to.
Nope. All right. So we're going to move on to the Division. So this month, they've actually... not this month. This week, actually. They've got not only one State of the Game update, they've actually received 2 State of the Game updates, which I thought was really interesting because they've been getting not the best press right now with the amount of bugs and issues and problems and that they've been having. So I think they came out and were like, all right, we need to pump up our communication on how things are working, how things are happening. So how they kind of break it up of like what they're working on, like what's going on, like community stuff. So one of the first things that I saw that caught my eye was the community part, which was rogue agent parkour. So if you don't know, in the Division, if you are in the dark zone, right? The dark zone?
Yes, correct.
Wow. If you're in the dark zone and you shoot another player, you get automatically marked as a rogue, which means you have a bounty on top of your head and people can kill you for that bounty. Well, this one is people that go rogue and then are running around and parkouring through stuff, killing other players. It's really interesting. I thought it was really cool. I thought it was kind of like a fun...
Yeah.
Like, I really like this game, so I'm going to show not only something that I love, but something that I like to do for fun, parkouring.
I do think it's hilarious because some of the parkour, like the parkours are all cool. Like, them moving through the city is super awesome. But some of the stuff they do is wildly unnecessary. And when you think about it, like, what if this was a real chase? Like, why did you backflip just then? Couldn't you just turn around and shoot him?
Right.
He could have killed you while you were doing that. Like, why did you do that? But if you just suspend that level of disbelief for a minute while you're watching this is super awesome. Like, they run through, like, an old train station and, like, jump off of stairs. And then, obviously, there are the times where they're just running down a straight path and are backflipping for no readily apparent reason. It's cool. It makes you feel very lazy. Well, okay, it makes Croog feel very lazy. I'm watching it again right now, like while I'm talking about it, and there's one part where there's a pallet on the ground. Like, a pallet is like a 5-inch tall thing. It's like a curb of a sidewalk, and he does a backflip over it. I'm like, bro, come on. You could literally have either gone around that or stepped onto it like a normal person. You're gonna die. But he doesn't die because he's a ninja. Maybe I'm just jealous. Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah. Womp womp.
Anyways, so the other things, these are a little bit more serious and less community-based stuff. So the biggest issue that's happening right now is people are basically only using SMGs and marksman rifles as a combo for their gear, because the fact is the SMG has great damage close range, and the marksman rifle can pick people off at far distances or other snipers. So there's a big complaint of people coming out saying, hey, look, this is the only viable combination. You've got all these other weapons out there. You've got shotguns, you've got sawed-off shotguns, you've got your pistol section, you've got your what are some of the other ones? You've got your assault rifles, but you can't really use those as combinations because these are so strong and so
you feel
good.
like you're making a mistake if you're using them because they're shit.
Exactly.
I mean, not shit, but they're worse.
Yeah, they're not as good as a combo.
Right.
So what they're saying is that they're taking steps to improve other weapons to make other combos viable. Which I really like about that is that they're not dumbing down the SMG and the marksman. They're saying that they're making improvements on the other weapons to make them, like I'm a very big strong person about like you don't make your strong weak to make your weak strong. You make your strong you make your weak strong. Right. You know what I mean? That was a roundabout.
We're doing a lot of things that we have to write down this week. Like that was the second one. I'm personally of the impression that like if you're melee range with a shotgun and you shoot someone in the head, instant death. Instant death. Like I don't understand why more games aren't brave enough to be like, this is a shotgun. If you're within melee range of this person and they shoot you, you will die. Or maybe like 10 feet past melee range. Like doesn't that make sense? And then if that's the case and we're all fighting with guns, what does that imply? That you got shot melee range with a shotgun. That implies that you are either using a long range weapon, so you don't have a shotgun yourself, and you're really close to somebody with a shotgun, in which case you're bad at the game. Or two, you let the enemy flank you, in which case you deserve to die. They flanked you successfully. Like, you should be shooting at them while they're trying to do that, making it so they can't come close to you like that, Maybe not insta-death, maybe like leave you at like half of a bar.
I don't know. It depends. I mean, headshot shotgun kind of sounds like instant death.
Yeah, but I mean, just for game balance reasons. Like, if you shoot somebody and melee them, dead, right? Like, at the very least. Sure. At the very least.
The other issue that they're trying to work on and they're talking about is the Phoenix credits. So as you play and you've hit max level, you're going to start getting Phoenix credits as you play. Well, the issue that they're having is that everyone's got max Phoenix credits and there isn't enough stuff for them to buy in the stores to use these Phoenix credits.
So they're basically grinding for nothing because they can't get any more Phoenix credits, but they have nothing to spend their Phoenix credits on.
Yeah.
Which is, fuck. What do? I'm not going to play this game for a bit, I guess. Or I'll go drink Lobies for fun.
Yeah, it's like, it's so dumb to me. So they're working on that. They realize that that's something that they need to work on, and they're doing that.
But I feel like that happens in any game that I play that has capped currencies. Like in Wildstar when they capped what was the currency? What was the fucking currency? Elder Gems, right?
Elder Gems, okay.
They capped Elder Gems and right when they released Elder Gems it had a cap. And then they increased the cap by like tenfold because everyone was like, "Yo, I hit this cap in 20 minutes. What the fuck? I need more." And they were just like, "Oh, fuck, you guys are really fucking fast. All right, increase the cap by this much." I've never seen it done to a point where the cap wasn't either ludicrously high and impossible to reach and therefore meaningless, while at the same time, giving people that play a lot the opportunity to earn rewards for what they're doing. Like it shouldn't affect everyone, I
think the biggest issue is the fact that there isn't enough to buy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a problem too.
Like if they just increase the amount of stuff that people could buy in there, I think it would give them reason to continue to grind those credits or actually spend them. But if you have no interest of what's in the stores, add more cosmetic stuff, add things that will add to the home base. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of stuff that they could
like a lot of cosmetic stuff. I mean, some people don't do that stuff at all though.
Yeah, I get that. They don't give a shit about cosmetic. I'm one of those people who aren't super into cosmetic stuff, but it's an added option. And at the point of having max credits and still wanting to play the game, you just buy the shit because you can. Yeah. You know what I mean?
It should have like something to detect like, okay, this character has best in slot for every single item. All shops are going to show him items that give him +1 to like, not even DPS, +1 to damage for his weapon. And it will cost a max amount of Phoenix credits. So that you literally have something to buy because it's technically better. But you have to spend all of your Phoenix credits on it, and it's only better by 1.
Yeah, that sounds... You shouldn't design games.
Troll shouldn't design video games? Okay.
No. Well, all right, well, the next piece is the fact that there was a second state of the game. And,
Blammo.
Yeah, I don't know if it was because there was a lot of bad press that week or what. But one of the biggest issues was the fact that people were seeing double UIs, which... I don't even know how that's a thing, but then again, I'm not designing or programming that game. But yeah, apparently they had double UI throughout through for some people. Sure, why the fuck not?
That's super awkward. How do you not catch that? Like two UIs? How are they even? I'm trying to find like a picture of it or something.
Yeah, they didn't show it. They didn't highlight it at all.
Yeah, why
The other
would they?
thing,
It's a bug.
yeah. Well, the other thing is that they also gave a list of known issues. Now, I'm posting what I found on Reddit because I just liked how they organized it a little bit better.
Mhm.
But it was a full on list of issues and exploits and what their current statuses were. If they were working on it, if it's being fixed, if it is they're aware of them. Like if you don't see your problem on this list, you should let someone know because this is the full list of all issues that they're aware of. And if it's not there, that means they don't know about it.
Yeah,
but I see you wrote a couple things down about it.
Yeah, so there, I just pulled some of the more interesting ones, the issues that I found most interesting. So if you're not aware of these issues, now you are. And this first one is kind of like game breaking in my opinion. So it's possible to repeatedly kill the boss of the same high value target mission by leaving the mission area before all enemies are killed to purposely fail the mission and then pick it up again, and then you can just walk right back to the boss and kill him. Like you just doop doop. They're supposed to be on a cooldown timer.
Yeah.
So you're supposed to kill him and then not be able to kill him for X amount of hours.
Yeah. No, I know how that works.
Yeah. So that's silly. They do say, however, that it's not considered an exploit, and that's information from their team on their official forum. So you don't have to worry about getting banned or punished in any way if you're doing it. I think that one's good. A little PSA for you guys, And then the other one is characters below level 30 are able to get high-end items by participating in high-value target missions with higher level players, which is horrible because they're not supposed to have those yet. So if you're noticing a lot of people that can gank you really early, maybe that's why,
Mm-hmm. Well, and I found this really interesting. So some players are seeing that they have a 201 gear score or 201 plus gear score.
Mm-hmm.
And people are looking at their physical gear that they've got on.
And they're like, how the fuck?
Yeah, how the fuck do I have a 200 and above score? And so they came out and said, hey, this is a known thing. This isn't an issue. This isn't a bug. This is how it works, is the gear that you've got, that you're currently wearing, the gear that's in your backpack, the gear that is in your storage.
And
like all gear.
All the gear that you have access to is calculated in your gear score, which literally makes absolutely no sense. And the fact that
it makes perfect sense.
Are you high on drugs?
No, not at all.
How does that make any sense?
So by looking at your gear score, they put you in a specific bracket when you go into the dark zone, right, so that you're fighting against people with your gear score specifically or right around in that range, right? So if I go in and I have a low level shotgun, right, and I have a low level mask and I have a low level backpack, and then I go into the dark zone and they set me up at bracket 130, and then I grab the gear out of my backpack and put it on, now I have a gear score of 300.
No, that doesn't make sense still, because it's calculating stuff in your stash and in your
I get that.
Not
this
stash.
No. I
How
understand.
do those make sense? That's the part I don't agree with, because that's not accessible while you're in the dark zone. If I need to get that stuff, I have to go back to the base, pick it out of a chest.
No, you can go to if you go to the entrance of each dark zone, there's a stash location.
Oh yeah. You're right. So, but I still have to leave the dark zone.
You have to leave the dark zone
anymore.
You have to leave the dark zone. Once you enter the dark zone, I think it recalculates your bracket based off of your gear score.
First of all, if it doesn't recalculate every time you go through that door, that's dumb as shit.
Yes.
So let's assume it does that. That means that I have to go through the threshold of recalculation and then get new gear and then go back through the threshold of recalculation.
The stash doesn't make sense to me, but
the backpack does. The backpack absolutely does. Unless it, and this would be really dumb if it did this, unless it recalculates every time you change your inventory. But that would be like horrendously interruptive in the middle of a game, like, oh, you put on this gun now, you're going to move to this, and then, like, everybody around you disappears and new people appear. Like, no, that doesn't make any fucking sense. So it does make sense to calculate your backpack if you have, like, good items in there, like, and you're wearing
and the fact is
pistol.
If you get a good item while you're in the dark zone, you have to physically leave the Dark Zone to even equip it.
Right, exactly.
So it makes sense that that would be the threshold point of where it calculates your gear score
Yeah.
for who you should be competing against versus right then and right there.
The only situation that I can see where somebody would have items better than the ones that they're using in their backpack is if they're trolling. If they want to be put into a situation where they have superior firepower over everyone else. That having been said, I don't think it should be cumulative, you know? I think it should just be like, this is the best weapon. This is the best
it's not accumulative. It's just taking the best of each that you
Gotcha.
own.
Okay, good. Okay, that makes sense.
It's not like, oh, well, you've got 12 guns and them accumulate up to no. It doesn't do that. But I think they should get rid of the stash. And this is specifically why they want people to play with each other. So if you have a new friend that comes into the game, right, if you put your high level gear into the stash and then you have a similar gear score to your buddy, then the two of you can go into the Dark Zone and play together,
right,
and be in the same bracket. And then once he gets higher up, he or she gets higher up, you can swap your gear from your stash.
Yeah, I don't see how they didn't catch that. Like, that seems like a really easy way to prevent the thing that they were trying to prevent.
Mind you, they could have specifically thought our idea as well, and then there could be something catastrophically difficult for them to either calculate or do, or there could be some exploit that deals with the stash, like that we don't see.
Oh, I see. So, like, somebody found some way of getting items from their stash into their inventory kind of thing. But why don't they just fix... Anyways, I'm not a dev. Look, not my job to fucking figure it out. Just fix it, all right? All right, bros?
I'm right there with you. That being said, that's all we've got for the division. We're going to move over to Wildstar, which... Wildstar. It is currently Starsfall. It's their 1 year birthday.
Woo!
No, is it 1 year or is it 1 year or two? I can't remember.
I think it's 2.
Yeah, it's their 2 year birthday. And so Starfall happens between June 1st and June 30th. There's a whole huge lore section of what Starfall is and what's going on with Starfall. But Adrock's not here, so fuck lore.
Get wrecked.
That being said, there is a bunch of events that are going on. So the first week, which is June 1st through the 7th, which you've got a whopping 2 days if you're watching us live.
Right.
If not, you're lost.
Fucked. Yeah.
Objective: complete 15 challenges and you receive an excellent party chest key. Week 2, June 8th through the 14th, complete 5 expeditions and you get an excellent party chest key. The 15th through the 21st, complete 3 PvP matches. Why is that not higher? 15 challenges, 5 expeditions, 3 PvP. Come on, guys. Come on. Push that number a little higher, like 5. Just do 5 PvP. You will also get a key for the excellent party. And then the 4th week, June 22nd through the 28th, you have to complete 2 dungeons, and you will also receive a key. And then June 29th and 30th is your last chance. Any unfinished quests from the previous weeks can be completed during that time. So if you miss the first week, you've got 2 days to basically do your 15 challenges. Or if you've done, I wonder if it's accumulative because it says unfinished quests. So if you get like 14 challenges done, can on the 19th and the 29th and 30th, you do one more challenge and that gets you to a total of 15?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. I don't know. I think it'll probably keep your progress. I hope it keeps your progress.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, really quickly, party chests. So next to the event NPC in each capital city, there are going to be 2 chests, an excellent party chest and a legendary party chest. By completing one of the weekly challenges, you'll receive an excellent party chest key, as we just went over. If you complete all 4 weekly challenges during the event, you'll earn 1 legendary party chest key. These can open their respective chests and unleash the loot all over your face. Each chest has a chance to provide the following: a consumable, some kind of currency, a pet, or a decor piece from the events earlier in the year, like Shades Eve or Winterfest or any of those other, holiday events. So stuff that's not available to get any other way. Or anniversary items. So those are all super cool. The difference between the excellent party chest and the legendary party chest is that the excellent party chest will give you some currency an item, and one good or excellent quality anniversary item. The legendary party chest will give you some currency, an item from the events, 2 anniversary items, which can be any quality. So they can also be superb or legendary quality, which is, so you just get better shit.
And this is also accounting for the Z pre-events as well.
Yeah, so you can get like the Z pre hoverboard. Mounts was in there, right? No, Mounts was not in there.
Womp womp.
Lame. Well, sorry. Does Mount Flare count as decor? Or is that like its own category? Anyways, there's a lot of stuff there that you can get. So go grind some fucking quests out and some PvP. And if you want to be like Indigo, do 5 matches instead of 3 whenever PvP comes up.
Should be doing at least 3 a week anyways. So all right, we're gonna move over from Wildstar over to World of Warcraft. So I don't know if you know this or not, but this is opening weekend for the World of Warcraft movie. Woo!
Okay, sure. Yeah, the movie that makes me depressed.
We have a review available on QueueTimes.com.
Yes,
it is full of spoilers, so
super full of spoilers.
You should totally read that before you see the movie.
You didn't write spoilers. I'm just gonna put arrow spoilers.
Go for it. That being said, we'll see how it actually performs. There hasn't been a tremendously amount of high reviews for this, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, it's getting 7.9 on IMDb, but 29% on Rotten Tomatoes. So that's a thing. Those are 2 very opposite ends of the spectrum.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah. 80% versus 30%.
Yeah.
Awkward. Somebody's
paying
for some good reviews.
I don't know. I kind of want to see it. Like,
and 31% on Metacritic, which I didn't notice before. 31% on Metacritic.
I think the big issue is that people that are seeing it are either World of Warcraft fans,
right,
and are seeing the huge revisionism that is going on with that movie, and they're upset about that. Which to me is like, bro, you can't, like, it can't be the same. It just can't. Like, we've had this argument on Quarter Up, like, can video games be like a good movie franchise? Mm-hmm. I think they can be, but you have to realize is that you can't have the exact same story in both worlds, or at least, like, the game is a constant evolving system, and sometimes it works out perfectly and you go, oh man, I wish we would have done X, Y, and Z for this instead. Well, now with a whole new franchise starting from the beginning, they can see the errors of their ways because they can see that this is going to go forward. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but see, it's hard because they're trying to get like the best of both worlds. They're trying to get the marketing boon of that fan service, like putting in familiar characters instead of like, let's go to a place that we haven't visited in the game before and make a new story and do the things that we want. But at the same time, they're taking those familiar characters and like putting them in unfamiliar situations or giving them unfamiliar attributes. Like, I don't think you can do both. I think if you want to use an existing IP as a source or as source material for a movie, then use it as source material. Use the world, use, the environments and stuff like that, but just move it off to the side a little bit.
I think if there was a World of Warcraft movie that wasn't like the main story, I think you would have larger issues. Like,
yeah, with people that aren't crew.
Like, could you imagine if the newest Star Wars movie, like not Rogue One, I mean, I'm talking about like the main Star Wars movies, had nothing to do with...
Well, that's different because Star Wars started off as movies and then became video games.
No.
Do you remember that?
God, there's so many fucking Star Wars video games coming out. So many fucking Star Wars.
But that having been said, I don't think that's going to be an issue for me personally because I know fucking nothing about the lore in WoW. Like, literally, like anything that Dahk has explained to me on TeamSpeak while we played, like he explained to me the backstory behind Sylvanas. I know her backstory in a very cursory way. That's about it. That's the lore I understand with WoW. I also know that goblins are, like gambling addicts or something. That's it. Those are the 2 things that I know.
Anyways, the other thing that, and I like this, and I think you would really like this, is they actually had an engineer's workshop, and they're actually showing off the nuts and bolts of how they are adding to WoW Legion of how people are going to be able to have further view distances and
Ooh.
better view distances. So it's not no longer just going to be like the shadow of a building that's in the background. You're actually going to be able to see some level of detail and color on those buildings versus just an outline,
Yeah.
and they're showing how they're able to push the technology that they currently have further, and how they're able to put things together a little bit more and adding more assets to it. I really liked this, and I thought it was kind of fun and very interesting that they put this together. So I think I would share it with you guys.
Yeah, there's actually some before and after screenshots here where they show like
Yes.
this is the old way we did it and this is what the draw distance looked like, and they're all, really high up and kind of like broad spanning screenshots. And then they show the new draw distance implemented and it looks literally 1,000 times better. Especially the second one, the one with the floating tower.
Mm-hmm.
That one looks like years and miles, and it's like a whole new game. It
Oh
looks
yeah,
so much
because
better.
you can see you see the floating castle in the sky, but and then you see a flat line behind it. The new version, the castle actually has color, shape, and a form. It's not just an outline. And then you see another building in the background. While it has less color, it actually has detail into it.
Yeah.
Then it's got a building even further behind it that is just the same outline that they had
And then
as their
even
first object.
like my favorite thing is like things that are not enormous to see but like still relatively large, like in the second screenshot, the bridge on the top left, like things like that are things
Mhm.
that make me happy when I can see something that's not enormous but still relatively large from very very far away, because it makes me feel like it gives me like a sense of like scale for the world. It's not just I can see the pebbles in front of me and the ginormous mountains behind me. Like I can also see the bridge on the mountains behind me. So I can tell how big those mountains are. It's not just a painting in the background.
Mhm.
That's just me. Maybe I'm weird. I say a lot of weird shit sometimes. Whatever.
Well, that is it for Slash Zone. We've gone through all of the major MMO news that we could find and could see. We're going to move on to our last section this week, which is LFG, which is looking for group. We're going to be showing and highlighting off games that haven't happened yet.
Yep.
Which
Pretty much.
I love this section because I'm super excited about one game specifically,
Crowfall.
and that's Crowfall.
Yep.
And so, speaking of nuts and bolts that we did through in the World of Warcraft, they're actually showing the design and how they came up with their new icon system. So originally they came out and says, "Hey guys, we know our icon system is a little bit," and I'm talking about the icons for actions or buttons that you
abilities.
flick, ability for your tray. Originally they came out and they were kind of bland. They were just kind of outlines of an action. And they said, no, we're going to make them slicker. We're going to make them more detailed. They're going to look really great. And then they did that and they looked wonderful. But then they realized that when it got scaled down to the bottom of your screen, you lost so much of that detail, and it just kind of jumbled together and you couldn't tell what each one of those things were.
Right.
So now they've gone, all right, this isn't working. So what do we need to do? So they went back and they kind of did a mix between the two. They kind of dulled the images back down to an outline, but gave it a little bit more detail, gave it a little bit more finesse to it.
Mm-hmm.
But then they came up with a color code system as well as a shape code system of what types of abilities do what. So healing abilities are going to be green, and melee damaging abilities are going to be red, while ranged abilities are going to actually be diamonds, and stealth abilities are going to be, and I'm just making these up.
No, you're pretty much right. So like healing abilities are green, positive status effects are like this turquoisey color, single target damage is red, a buff is a triangle with the point facing up, a debuff is a triangle with the point facing down. Same thing with CC, except for their pentagons instead of triangles. Like a passive ability is a circle. Like if I feel like if you looked at them, you'd kind of get it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and they didn't label them, and you're like, assign all these things, and they give you a list of like bad buff, bad CC, good CC, so on and so forth. I think it makes a lot of sense. I think people will get this stuff.
Mm-hmm. Well, and again, I always say this. I feel like I say this every single week we do this show, but there has to be someone working for Crowfall that literally just walks around the building and be like, "What are you working on?" And then like just writes it all down and then goes online and writes that up or makes a video about it, because there is so much detail coming out of the doors of Crowfall. Even when they're like, "This is the direction we're going. We're definitely going in this direction," and then they get there and they're like, "Fuck, that's stupid. We're gonna go this direction." And they admit that. Like they admit, like, hey, like, and you know exactly why things are taking the time it's taking. You understand, oh yeah, that totally makes sense. Like you feel like you're actually a part of, like, even though you're not really having like opinions and you're not like there talking to them, you feel like you're involved. You know what I mean? Well, and so this next piece, and I thought this was interesting. I think you had an issue with it, but I think I can explain it. So they're talking about client versus server side movement and actions. So they found that while movement was fine and they didn't have a huge issue, they were having issue with action. So when you would take an action, you would press the button, it would then get sent to the server. The server would then acknowledge that it was going to happen, then approve that action, and then come back to your computer and say, draw animation. And it was approximately a 400 millisecond difference when it was server side. And if you don't know that, it's almost a half a second between pushing a button and actually happening. And that's implying that your internet service is excellent at that time. So they're saying we're going to move, or at least we're looking at moving, and they've got diagrams and explanations of moving these actions to being client side. So you would hit the button to make the action happen, and while that information is still going to the server, it is also the draw animation and saying I accept this is all going to be client side.
Right.
While it's also pinging to the server at the same time, and they realized they could drop that lag time down significantly tighter.
They're basically reducing the amount of information that they're sending to the server to like a bare minimum, so that the response time and like the conversation, heavy quotes, between the server and the client will be much faster. And then all of the like, okay, now we're going to draw you attacking this thing is going to all happen on your computer. So it's going to be your GPU rendering it, and like your processor processing where the things go and stuff, not the server. So the server doesn't have to take time to do any of that shit, and it can just be like, all right, I got it, you're doing that. I'll register the damage if you hit. Like, I got this shit.
Yep. Yeah, and I think you were concerned because it being client side, it could.
Yeah, so the way Indigo explained it to me was that they're moving combat to client side, and I'm just like, what the fuck? Which, for those of you that don't know, client side things are vulnerable to hacks, essentially, because if it's happening on your computer, you have more control of it than the people developing the game do. So there are ways around that. Like, a lot of Overwatch stuff is client side. I don't know a super huge amount about their combat system, but they have like some method of detecting that kind of stuff and like getting rid of the people that do it, instead of dealing with like, we're just going to prevent them from doing it. It just scares me when stuff is moved client side. Like, it gives people a way wider door to hack through, and it, but if there's still some kind of like confirmation from the server, like, I get it, you're doing that. Oh, you can't do that quickly. No. The server has to be able to go, no. And then, stop you from doing the thing, and hopefully disconnect you from the game, and then ban you forever, and then, take $1,000 from your bank account or something, like, just some kind of punishment. I don't know exactly what, but that's why I don't design games, because I'd have all of cheaters' money.
That being said, that is our last piece of news for this week's quarter up. Or I'm sorry, this week's episode of Slash Yell.
Good job.
That is all of our news for this week's Slash Yell. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys got to learn a lot. I know I did.
Did you?
I did, actually.
There was quite a bit of stuff. Good job. Yeah, congratulations. I hope you liked the way it felt.
It did. It was interesting. I hadn't felt that way in a long time. That being said, we're out of here. My name is Indigo, and I'm here with Croog.
Hi.
If you'd like to reach us as well as the person that isn't here, Adrock, you can email us at God damn. You can email us at yell@QueueTimes.com. That is QueueTimes.com. If you would like to get a hold of myself, you can get me up on Twitter at IndigoQT. Or you can email me at indigo@QueueTimes.com. Croog.
Where
Finish
can
this
people
off.
find me? I'm going to show you how it's done, baby. You can tweet me. My Twitter is @CroogQT. You can also email me. My email address is Croog@QueueTimes.com. And I hope you like the show. If you like the show, feel free to leave a comment, leave a rating, subscribe to the YouTube channel, fucking do whatever the fuck else, share it. I don't know, something. It's all really helpful. If you hated the show, and I know I'm going to put this part in here because some of you do hate our show, and that's fine. That's totally fine. Leave us a comment, tell us why. Because we like to improve our shows. That's what we like to do. So,
100%.
Yeah, tell us why you hate us. Maybe we can make you not hate us, you know?
First of all, congratulations for hating us and making it an hour into it. And still...
I always cut these out and move them to the beginning, just so you know.
Oh, do you really?
Yeah. And by always, I mean I've done it for the past like 2 or 3 shows, and
Gotcha.
I'm going to keep doing it in perpetuity.
Anyways.
Aw, we got rated as groovy. Thank you.
Nice. I like the groovy.
Anyways.
All right, guys.
That's it for us for the week. Thank you very much for checking us out, and we'll see you next time. Mwah.
I hate you.
We're still live. I want to see how long you'd hold that face. All right, bye.